Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. Um, Today I want to touch a little bit about the subject of generalized anxiety disorder. That's another disorder that I was diagnosed with. Generalized anxiety disorder is very um, frustrating disorder to have. Basically, it's self-explanatory. It's general anxiety all the time. Now, what some people don't understand, and I understand it's hard to understand something that you don't really know about unless you experience it for yourself. Um, but for me, having generalized anxiety disorder means that I constantly have that feeling that you get when you feel like there's danger present, for lack of a better explanation. The fight or flight response, basically. And with generalized anxiety disorder, what happens is your brain, the part of the brain that sends signals throughout the rest of your brain and through your body that there's danger, there's danger, is constantly on. It's stuck in repeat. Excuse me, I gotta smoke. It's constantly on repeat. So, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, there's that generalized anxiety. On a scale of 1 to 10, on an average day, if I'm home all day, I'd say it's between a 5 and a 7. When I go out, it is more of a 7 to 9, depending on where I am. If it's a crowded public building or a crowded store with loud children that the parents aren't watching or whatever, then that can make the anxiety worse. And I've been on just about every different medication for anxiety you can think of. Only one or two of them have actually worked for me. But if you have generalized anxiety disorder yourself, or you think you might have generalized anxiety disorder, talk to your psychiatrist. And again, if you don't have a psychiatrist, I suggest get one, because they can help a lot. They can help, you explain to them how you've been feeling, what's been going on, and they will do an assessment and do a diagnosis and possibly start medication. And you do have to be careful with the medication, and let me tell you why. In 2010, I was on most of the same medications I'm still on. I was taking 2 milligrams of Ativan 3 times a day for anxiety, and that's the highest dose that they could legally prescribe, but it wasn't enough. And I was also taking a medication for my stomach. I have irritable bowel syndrome, and I didn't know at the time that that particular medication caused severe memory loss. So, and me being impatient, and having the whole OCD thing all the time, I would take my Ativan thing and take my stomach medication, my other medications, and an hour later still feel anxious and think, okay, it's not working, I've got to take another one. And I would take another one, and 45 minutes would go by and I'd still feel anxious, and I'm like, okay, I need to take another one. And so I'd take another one, and then it would all hit me at once. And when that happens, then I was not aware of anything I was saying or doing, and I would end up going through a prescription of 90 Ativan within 2 to 3 days, a prescription of 120 pills for my stomach in 2 or 3 days, an entire bottle of Benadryl, and it was awful because I don't remember the stuff that I said or did. There's bits and pieces here and there, and on top of that, I was hallucinating. And that did cause me to lose a lot. I had to quit working, for one. I had finally found somebody that I was absolutely head over heels in love with, and was with that person for 6.5 years. But when I was having issues with my medications, this person said that it was too much for them to handle. So I lost my relationship. I couldn't work. Um, I had to give up my apartment. I had to move in with my mom, and I wasn't aware that I was over medicating. I just thought my anxiety was so strong and so bad that the medications that they were giving me weren't enough. But I didn't realize until now that's the case. You got to give it time for the medication to do its job. It's not an instant, snap your fingers and the anxiety goes away. It's a lot about being patient and about finding the right dosage and maintaining that dosage, so that way you can bring your anxiety from up here to down here, so you can function better. And that's something that I am trying to learn how to do. Medications are a double-edged sword, because they can be very helpful for people like me with multiple anxiety disorders, but at the same time, for people like me, they can also be very dangerous, because with my having OCD, taking my medications also became a compulsion. Because I thought, well, if I don't reduce this anxiety right now, something awful is going to happen, which is what OCD makes you think and makes you do. I suggest looking up generalized anxiety disorder online, and you'll find that it's linked. A lot of times it's what they call a comorbid diagnosis. Generalized anxiety disorder often is diagnosed with OCD or ADHD or Tourette syndrome or PTSD. They're all on the full autism spectrum of disorders. So I encourage you to do a little research, like I've done, because it can greatly help you understand better what it is that you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. And again, see a doctor. Don't try and self-medicate. Don't think, well, I'll go to my friend's house who has some, I don't know, something, Percocet or morphine or something. I'll go take that. Don't do that. That's stupid, and it's not going to help you, and you're going to end up getting yourself in trouble. So, excuse me. Find a doctor, like I said. See about medications. If you have a history of drug abuse or alcohol abuse, which I did not have, just to get that out there, I did not have. But if you do have a history of that, then I suggest finding a family member or a friend that's willing to help you, willing to dispense the medications to you, so that you're not able to take more than what you're supposed to take. I ended up in the emergency room 4 times for over medicating, and twice they put me on a 5150, and I was in a psychiatric hospital on a 72-hour involuntary hold. Now, that was awful. couldn't smoke, couldn't have one of these, couldn't go outside, um, didn't have much privacy, had to share a room with another guy. They take your shoes and your belt, and you have to eat their food and their snack time, and then all there is to do is watch TV, and it's like one channel that has TV shows that were on back in the year I don't know, 21 or something, you know. It's not a fun experience, you know. I'm trying to make light of it, but 5150 is a serious thing. That means that you're a threat to yourself or to others, and that you have to be in a controlled and confined environment until you're no longer a threat to yourself or to someone else. And I never would have thought in a million years someone like me with such scruples and morals and always wanting to do the right thing, always wanting to be truthful and honest, would ever have that happen to me. But anyways, I'll wrap up this video by saying, again, generalized anxiety disorder. It's a pain in the butt. Medications can help. The medication that helps me is Ativan. Xanax also works for me, but they also prescribe 2 other medications. One's the oldest one, and it's called Valium, and then there's also one called Klonopin. And there's also, those 4 medications are controlled substances, so it's hard to get a prescription for them. But they have other medications too. There's one called Buspar that doctors who don't want to prescribe controlled substances for whatever reason or another will give to their patients for anxiety, which I've never taken, but people that I've talked to that have been on it say it doesn't really do much. And then there's also a medication called hydroxyzine, which I'm on, part of my daily regimen of medications, and that's for panic attacks. And so taking that with the Xanax that I'm currently taking helps take the edge off of my anxiety a little bit. So in closing, I hope some of this information was helpful. And again, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below this video, or you can reach me on Facebook. Just search for Eli Carvajal. Alright, everybody, thanks again for letting me talk to you and for listening to me, and hopefully I'm doing somebody some good somewhere. Alright, bye.